Bruh.
I thought it would be very beneficial for a lot of people, especially a lot of people who've been in the same situation as me, especially younger people who want to get into editing, want to get into content creating. A lot of people still perceive this as something that won't be beneficial, as something that won't give you experience, you'll never make it, it's not a real job. I can 100% confirm that editing and content creating takes a lot of work. I'm not trying to put anyone off it. I mean, if you want to do it, go for it. You just need to be aware that you're gonna
be busy.
I thought I would share my editing journey so far. Anyway,
so
I'd say my editing journey started back in 2012. So almost 10 years ago now. I was 10, 11 years old, believe it or not. It's really hard to believe that I was about 10, 11 years old when I started editing. I had no idea what it actually was. I just knew I liked doing it. It was fun. I loved it. I was always a very creative child, so I mean, now it's no shock to me that I was interested in editing. When I started watching videos on YouTube, I always thought,
Wow.
these people are cool. The first editing software that I used was the classic Windows Movie Maker. Holly B and Thomas Pearson, be quiet! If you're old enough to remember, you will remember the old version of Windows Movie Maker, and you remember the old but new version of Windows Movie Maker. I can't remember, but I've used both of them. Those were the starting points for software. So first of all, I'm going to go into software. And I was lucky enough to have my own computer when I was younger. My dad was really into technology, and he still is, and he picked up on the fact that it was something that interested me, so he got me my own computer. Nothing fancy, just a basic computer. When I was about 10, 11 years old, I used Movie Maker on that. And as time progressed, I was starting to find myself getting frustrated. It's basic, it's for beginners, so it was good for me. But when I started to get frustrated, looking back on it now, obviously I didn't understand when I was about 11 years old. Looking back at it now, that was when I was starting to realise, okay, I want to do this, I want to go further. And I was getting wound up that I couldn't do much with Movie Maker in the end, because the effects were limited, transitions were limited, everything was limited, and the audio was a pain in the backside to deal with on Movie Maker. So my dad also picked up on this, and he bought me for my birthday in 2012 Cyberlink PowerDirector 10, and 11-year-old me had no idea how lucky I was to have gotten Cyberlink PowerDirector 10 at 11 years old. In my personal opinion, Cyberlink PowerDirector has been one of my favourite softwares to use. Yeah, I enjoyed using it, and when I got it I was like, whoa, I can do so much more with this now. Then again, on the other hand, as amazing as it was, 11-year-old me was also frustrated when I couldn't get things right. I am very much a perfectionist when I want to be, and whenever my work wouldn't go as smoothly as I wanted it to be, oh my god, in my head, I wouldn't show it, but in my head I would get so frustrated. I just wanted it to be as good as it could be, and I'm still like that now. Going away from that part of my life, 2012, for a few years I didn't do much editing. As soon as I started secondary school here in the UK, I kind of pushed it aside almost, and I guess it just kind of didn't come up in my head that much that I forgot to remember that I liked editing. Not to mention I didn't really have anything to edit, because when I was at secondary school I went through a really hard time with my mental health, and I will say this might come with a trigger warning. This bit, if you have depression, you'll know what it's like to lose interest in things you love, and I didn't have anything to edit, I didn't have anything to say, I didn't have anything. I do remember doing it a little bit, but just not as much, and it was only with like those phone apps you can use. But once I left school, I've been so much happier. I left school about 3 or 4 years ago now, and changes your life, changes your mood. I realised, hang on, I like editing, and I know I like editing. I should do more of this again. I have time. I want to do it. I'm a creative person. You got this. Actually, when I went back, I didn't have my computer anymore, the computer that my dad got me when I was younger. So because I didn't have access to that, I had to use my phone. I used iMovie, and I'd never used iMovie besides like in school when you're required to use it on the Apple Macs for like drama and music. So I had a knowledge of iMovie. I went into iMovie when I got properly back into editing. I realised, again, I want something a bit more, because I think I went back into it and I kind of almost underestimated what I could do. I want to progress, I want to learn new things. It wasn't really a case of I want the best software so I can be the best that I can. It was more of a case of I want to get a better software because I want to learn things and I want to discover new things and teach myself. I've actually never really watched any how to edit videos. Even when I was younger, I just picked it up as I went along. I've always been very reluctant to do that, especially when I was younger. Now I probably would, but when I was a bit younger, I was quite reluctant to watch how to edit videos or how to do this with your software or whatever it is, because I wanted to try and do it myself. I wanted to try and learn. I'm a very independent person when it comes to learning things. So after iMovie, I went on to one that most people know, which is VideoStar. And VideoStar is where I learn a lot more about transitions, about green screen, masking, things like that. There wasn't really much green screen, like actual
Green screen on there. It was more like masking and cutouts and, like I said, transitions. So that gave me a lot more experience with that.
I learned a lot from VideoStar, to be fair. It's one of those apps that I feel like has a bit of stigma around it. Not sure why. I personally don't have an issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, there might not be stigma around it, that's just how I feel. But I enjoyed using it. It let me learn things, and I'm glad that I had that opportunity. Once I was happy with VideoStar, I wasn't really looking for something to learn, because I was still learning with VideoStar still, and there was a lot of things on there that I still wanted to learn from it. But I just wanted to see what other softwares were out there, because I hadn't really looked much into what softwares were still available compared to when I started editing, or if anything new had come up, and I found Adobe After Effects. I got Adobe After Effects on a free trial. It's a good software. It's a good software. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep it. However, at the time, obviously, like I said, I didn't have a computer and I had a laptop, but it was so
bad. It was a really bad second-hand laptop.
I was trying to run After Effects on it. It had a meltdown. The laptop had a meltdown, and I think about a week after I stopped using After Effects, I think that is when that laptop broke. Whenever I tried to open it, it would go so slow, and it would hurt my head. That's just probably down to the laptop I was using, and if I used it on my current computer it would probably be fine. A lot of editors that I've spoken to are saying that it can be quite slow, and I've got other softwares that I'm using at the moment which are fine in my opinion, so I don't feel the need to get it back right now. Not to mention that it does cost, it's not a free software. I was just lucky that I had it on a free trial. But if I want to edit anything on my phone, because I'm not gonna lie here, I sometimes still edit on my phone, especially if I'm having a lazy day. I mainly use my phone to edit if I'm editing something completely stupid to send to my friends as a joke. I will edit it on my phone. Videos, I will tend to try and edit on my computer, just for the purpose of it running smoother and the upload time being quicker. But the software that I use on my phone right now is called Videoleap. It's a good software, I'm not gonna lie, it's again one of my favourites, and it's a phone app. So if I would recommend, if you're looking to getting into editing and you only have your phone to edit, Videoleap is a good place to start. Last year in, what was it, like October, November, I got a new computer. It's a gaming computer, I love it, it's amazing, and that meant I could go back to editing on my computer. I didn't want to go back to Cyberlink PowerDeptor 10 even though I have it on a disk format, so I could install it again. However, because Cyberlink have released more versions of PowerDirector through the years where I wasn't using it, I feel that I'd be missing out on features that I probably would benefit from using and learning, and I just would prefer to get a newer version when I can afford it. Right now I use a mix of 3 different softwares. Blender is the one that I mainly use. Got my computer and I thought to myself, okay, I want to be a creator, I want to be an editor and a creator, and my dad's friend is an animator and he was really helpful. He gave really good advice as to what softwares to look out for that are free, and Blender was the one that he recommended. You don't need to have expensive softwares to be able to edit, but it's a good software, it's free and it's a good software. It does take a long time to get the hang of it. I've not had the opportunity to use Blender for a video on my channel yet, so I'm hoping to edit this one with it. So I would really recommend Blender, Lightworks and OpenShot if you want to do editing for free on your computer. That takes me on to the next bit, which is issues I always come across with editing. Now this is just from my personal experience, this is not me trying to put anyone off it or trying to scare anyone off. I still get these issues, I'm sure loads of bigger editors get these issues. In fact, I know that a lot of bigger editors get these issues. I've spoken to some editors on Twitter and I know that a lot of us still get these issues when we're editing. Probably find yourself burning out a bit, and what this means is you might lack motivation some days, and all I can say to that is don't push yourself. Make sure to look after yourself mentally, give yourself breaks. When I'm editing, I try to do sometimes I try to do 30-minute chunks and then have a break and then go do another 30-minute chunk and then a break. I'm guilty of this, but I do put a lot of pressure on myself to reach deadlines, and then I end up stressing when I miss them. So maybe try not to give yourself deadlines. If you're working for someone else, I can't really say because I'm not editing for anyone else right now. The other thing I will say is it can be very time consuming, so I would say don't go in with an expectation that it will all happen instantly, it will be a smooth process, it will be quick. You're bound to come into things like corrupt files, technology breaking, technology failing, storage issues, everything like that, but that's another story in itself. So I thought I'd mention those issues you might come across. But they're all things that you can overcome, and it's all a learning curve. I still get those issues, other people still get those issues, it's totally normal. I thought, as it's the end of this video, I thought I would mention a few editors that I almost look up to, I don't know how to word it, like, they're good editors. These guys are amazing at what they do. So you should probably check them out if you have a chance. Kieran Carlin. Kieran's edited for Willany. He has his own channel and he's just so good at what he does. So I highly recommend checking him out. Chipfat used to edit for the E-Boys and he also edits for the Sidemen. Another amazing editor. Elodie edits for Wilbur Soot. You probably know who Wilbur Soot is. If you don't, where have you been? I've spoken to Elodie. She is lovely. She is a lovely, lovely girl. This is just evidence. If you're a girl and you want to get into editing, do it. If you want to be a content creator and you're a girl, do it. If you want to do anything in this industry and you're a girl, do it. The work she puts into Wilbur's videos is amazing. And the last one is Thomas Pearson. I probably annoy the shit out of this guy on Twitter, and he's probably the editor that I've been speaking to the most. And he's a great guy. He edits for Nikki. He has his own channel, so you can check that out as well. I thought I'd finish with my editing aspirations for this year. Meet new people and make friends. Now, I have social anxiety, and it may not seem like it, but I do. And I always worry, am I annoying people? Am I being too much? Am I being too little? I would like to allow editing to let me meet new people, let me get the confidence to meet new people and talk to people, ask questions. That's what I've been doing. So I've asked Thomas a fuckload of questions about editing. So, you know, it's good. It's good to ask questions. And I would also like editing, depending on the situation that's going on right now, to give me new experiences and hopefully take me out of the city that I live in. So I'm actually looking to move to London at some point, and I would love to have my editing and my creating take me different places. It would be a cool experience, and it would make memories as well, especially if you go with other people. And another thing that I've not actually done before is edit for another creator. The last one is learn new skills. It's always good to keep an open mindset. If you're receiving constructive criticism, listen to it. It will probably help you. And I've learnt a lot from going to people and saying, what do you think of this? How do you do this? Again, asking for help. It's good. It's good to learn new things, and I'm still learning. Everyone's still learning every day as they edit. So that's all I can say on that matter.